AITA for ordering meat to avoid sharing with my vegetarian friend? I have a close friend, Sarah, who's been vegetarian for about 7 years now. I genuinely respect her choices. I even switch to veggie options sometimes when we eat together. But one thing about her that drives me a little nuts is that she always picks at everyone else's food. Not in a rude, eat half your plate way, but in that, oh, let me try a bite way. Every single time. If we get fries, she grabs a few. If I get pasta, she wants just a taste. If the group orders pizza, she'll try slices from everyone. It used to be funny, then mildly annoying, and now yeah. Anyway, last Saturday a few of us met up at this new fusion restaurant. Their menu is mostly meat-heavy dishes with a couple vegetarian options. I wasn't in the mood for the veggie stuff, so I ordered this lamb skewer platter that looked amazing. Sarah ordered a painter bowl. As soon as the food arrived, I saw that familiar glint in her eye, the "I'm about to sample your food. Look." And right then, I just didn't want to share. I was starving, the food smelled incredible, and honestly, I didn't feel like watching her poke around my plate with her fork like she always does. So when she leaned in and said, "Ooh, that looks so good, can I try?" I cut her off and said maybe too quickly, "It's lamb." She froze, made a face, and pulled her hand back immediately. She said, "Oh, right. Okay." For the rest of the meal, she was weirdly quiet. Afterward, one of our mutual friends told me I was kinda rude, and that I purposely ordered meat just to avoid sharing, which made me look petty and selfish. I said that wasn't the reason, except it kind of was, but also argued that she isn't entitled to my food every time we eat out. Now I'm torn. I didn't insult her or anything, but I also definitely ordered something she wouldn't touch because I didn't want her taking bites. So, am I the asshole? So apparently word travels fast in our friend group, because by Monday afternoon I had 3 different people texting me some variation of, "Dude, why didn't you just say you didn't want to share?" Which, fair, maybe I should have. But also, you try telling someone who prides themselves on being so chill and easygoing that they're actually kind of overbearing with the whole communal food thing. Anyway, Tuesday evening Sarah finally messaged me. Sarah. Hey, can we talk? I feel like things were weird on Saturday. Me. Yeah, sure. We met up for coffee. She looked nervous, which immediately made me feel like a jerk. We sat down and she goes, "Did I do something? You kind of snapped at me about the lamb." I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I told her I didn't snap, just that I wanted to eat my own food for once. Then she frowned and said something that threw me off. "You know I only ask because it makes me feel included. Everyone shares. I thought you were cool with it. And look, I'm not heartless. I get that food sharing is a love language for some people. But I'd never agreed to be her personal sampler platter every time we hung out. So I told her gently. I don't mind sometimes, but it happens literally every meal. I was hungry and didn't want to share that night." She sighed and said, "You could have just told me. It felt like you used my diet to push me away." That one stung. Because yeah, that's exactly what I did. I apologize for that part. Genuinely. Then right when I thought we were good, she added, "But honestly, it still felt rude. It would have been nicer if you just gotten something shareable." What? So now suddenly it was my responsibility to pick food based on what she wanted to nibble on. That irritated me more than it should have. We left on okay but not great terms. She wasn't angry, but she definitely wasn't thrilled either. Later that night our mutual friend group chat blew up with people taking sides. Half said she overreacted. Half said I was tactical but shady. And then someone dropped the message. "So wait, you did order me to block her, right?" I didn't respond. Because yeah, I kinda did. By midweek, this whole thing had somehow turned into a mini social crisis. I swear our friend group treats mild conflict the way Netflix treats limited series, overproduced, and way too dramatic. On Wednesday night we had our usual weekly hangout, board games, takeout, the works. I debated skipping, but that would have made it look like I was actually guilty of something worse than protecting my own dinner, so I went. Everyone was acting normal, except Sarah. She wasn't hostile, just performatively neutral. The kind of polite that's actually chilly. She didn't sit next to me like she usually does, didn't ask about my week, didn't even try to steal a fry from anyone's plate, which honestly made the whole room feel wrong, like gravity was slightly off. We ordered food, and this time, nobody shared anything. Not even among themselves. It was like everyone was terrified their food choices would accidentally become a political statement. Halfway through the night, Ryan, the unofficial mediator of our group, pulled me aside. Ryan. Dude, what exactly did you do? She's acting like you insulted her ancestors. Me. I literally just didn't want to share my food. Ryan. So tell her that. Me. I did. She said I should have ordered something shareable. Ryan. What? He laughed for a solid 5 seconds, which made me feel slightly validated. Then he got annoyingly wise and said, Look, you're not wrong. But you were sneaky. You basically built a vegetarian moat. Yeah. Okay. True. But before I could respond, Sarah walked over. She clearly overheard at least part of that conversation, because her face was tight. She looked at both of us and said quietly, I didn't think we needed rules about food. I just like trying things the people I care about enjoy. It wasn't angry. It was hurt. And somehow that was worse. I told her, again, that I didn't mind sharing sometimes, just not always. But before I could finish, she cut me off. But instead of telling me, you manipulated the situation so I physically couldn't share. Isn't that worse? I didn't have a great comeback for that. And then she said something that changed the whole vibe. It's not about the meat. It's that you'd rather find a loophole than just talk to me. That one landed like a punch. We didn't resolve anything that night. She left early. The group went quiet. And now I'm starting to feel like maybe this whole thing was way deeper for her than I realized. Because it sure wasn't just about lamb anymore. The next morning, after a night of replaying the whole saga in my head like an over-caffeinated security guard reviewing camera footage, I decided to just rip the band-aid off. I texted Sarah. Can we actually talk? No defensiveness. No weirdness. She agreed. We met at a park near her apartment. Neutral ground. No food present to trigger either of us. She looked tired. I probably did too. Before she could say anything, I just admitted it. Yeah. I ordered meat so you wouldn't ask for a bite. It was petty. I'm sorry. She blinked at me, then let out a small laugh, not mocking, just surprised. Thank you for actually saying it. We sat on a bench, and she finally explained the thing I hadn't understood at all. Turns out, growing up in a big chaotic family, sharing food was how she bonded with everyone. Her siblings would all pass plates around, steal bites, swap dishes. She hadn't realized she'd carried that expectation into adulthood and onto people who didn't sign up for it. I never meant to pressure you, she said. And I should have realized it wasn't fair to assume everyone was okay with it. Then she added softer. But it really hurt that you didn't just tell me. It made me feel like you were trying to dodge me. And there it was, the part one had been avoiding admitting. I told her I'd felt awkward saying no because she's such a warm, enthusiastic sharer. I didn't want to be the guy who kills the vibe. So instead I took the coward's route. Meat moat. She snorted at that term, by the way. Fully snorted. After a moment, she stuck out her hand like we were negotiating a treaty. How about this? You tell me when you don't want to share, and I stop assuming I get a bite of everything? I shook her hand. Deal. Then we sat there quietly, both feeling a little stupid but also relieved. The epilogue. At our next group outing, we ordered food. She didn't reach over. I didn't build a carnivorous barricade. When she wanted a bite of someone's dessert, she actually asked, Hey, is it okay if I try a little? People were shocked. Like, visibly. Later she nudged me and whispered, Look, growth. And honestly? Yeah. We're good now. So am I the asshole?